The thunderous riff of electric guitars pierced the Vegas night like a comet's tail, signaling Kiss's defiant re-emergence onto the stage, their first since the heartbreaking fall of founding guitarist Ace Frehley. In a weekend that blended pyrotechnic spectacle with raw vulnerability, the rock titans gathered for the KISS Kruise. Landlocked event, a landbound iteration of their seafaring fan odyssey, now anchored in Sin City's electric pulse. Frehley's death at 74, a tragic tumble at his home that silenced one of rock's most iconic voices, cast a somber shadow over the festivities. Yet, in true KISS fashion, makeup caked, platforms towering, spirits unyielding, the band transformed grief into a galvanizing force, honoring their prodigal son with words, gestures, and a roar that echoed through decades of hard-won legend. Paul Stanley, the starchild incarnate whose soaring falsetto has defined anthems like "I Was Made for Lovin' You," set the tone before the first chord struck. On Friday, November 14th, as the crowd, a sea of black leather, face paint, and sequins, hushed in anticipation, Stanley stepped forward, his star-spangled emblem glinting under the lights. Obviously, before we get going, and we're going to have an awesome time, we just wanted to take a moment to think about somebody who was at the foundation of this band, and we're talking about Ace. He intoned, voice steady but laced with the weight of shared history. The pause stretched, a collective breath held for the man whose Spaceman persona, all cosmic riffs and otherworldly flair, rocketed KISS from New York dives to global domination. Stanley's nod to their differences was a masterstroke of candor. Frehley's 1982 exit amid substance struggles, the acrimonious reunions, the 2000s lineup shifts, family feuds writ large in contract clauses and comeback tours. "That's what family is about," Stanley added, a line that landed like a power ballad's bridge, bridging riffs with reluctant grace. The event itself, a 3-day bacchanal of panels, poolside jams and memorabilia auctions, pulsed with KISS's signature excess. Relocated from ocean waves to the desert's embrace, it drew thousands of devotees, from graying originals who stormed CBGB in '73 to Gen Z converts via TikTok clips of Detroit Rock City. Gene Simmons, the demon with his fire-breathing bombast, prowled the stage like a predator, bass-thumping tales of excess and endurance. Eric Singer, the steady drum heartbeat behind the Catman mask, and Tommy Thayer, wielding the Spaceman's axe with respectful fire, rounded out the quartet. Their setlist, a time machine of hits, wove Frehley's ghost through every solo, Cold Gin, gritty swagger, rock and roll all night, fist-pumping unity. Saturday's show kept tributes subtler, a fleeting mention during a '70s studio yarn, Thayer's skyward gesture before a blistering lead, arm raised as if summoning stars. Fans, attuned to every nuance, erupted. It was communion, not command. Chants of "Ace, Ace, Ace" rippled like aftershocks, first ignited by opener Sebastian Bach, the Skid Row screamer whose hair metal air energy bridged eras. Bach, voice a velvet hammer, led the call-and response between sets, turning the venue into a cathedral of collective mourning. Frehley, the enigmatic anchor who inked KISS's sound with psychedelic edge, think New York Groove, Slinky Strut or Parasite, Alien Bite, left a void as vast as his heroin haze once carved. His death, weeks prior, wasn't rock's first Grim Reaper swing. KISS has weathered Eric Carr's '91 cancer loss, Mark St. John's '04 overdose. But Frehley's was visceral, a household name felled not by vice's slow burn but a mundane slip, underscoring mortality's indifference to myth. KISS's genesis in 1973 was pure alchemy. Stanley and Simmons, Greenwich Village dreamers, fused Beatles melody with Alice Cooper shock, enlisting Frehley and Peter Criss for a kabuki glam assault. Debut albums strutted them from flop clubs to Fillmore firestorms. By '70s's Destroyer, they were superheroes, comics in hand, blood-spitting spectacle. Frehley's Spaceman, Les Paul in one hand, smoke bomb in the other, embodied the escapism, his riffs a launchpad for misfits. Exit in '82 for Rehab, code for chaos, birthed solo sparks but reunions, '90s Millennium Bash, 2000's Farewell That Wasn't, kept the flame flickering. Post-2002, Thayer and Singer stabilized the ship, enabling 2023's Avatar-fueled End of the Road. Yet Frehley's shadow loomed. His 2018 KISS, branded spat with Simmons aired dirty laundry, addictions, egos, the $32 million makeup rights war. This Vegas vigil reframed that tumult as tapestry. Stanley's words evoked not just loss but lineage. Frehley's '73 audition, doodling the band logo on a napkin, co-writing 100,000 Years, a sci-fi stomp that presaged their empire. Fans shared war stories, '77 Alive. Bootlegs 79 Dynasty Disco Pivot Debates, while panels dissected Frehley's Frehleyism, that Gibson threw a Marshall stack tone thick as moon dust. Simmons, ever the showman, quipped on Frehley's rocket mishaps literal during tours, but eyes glistened recalling unplugged jams where Ace's vulnerability shone. Singer drummed a tribute beat, Thayer shredded Shock Me, Frehley's vocal showcase hitting notes with homage not hubris. Beyond the stage the event was catharsis incarnate. Diehards tattooed tributes, Ace's orbiting logo orbiting wrists, traded vinyls like sacred texts. Box chant morphed into a mosh of memory, strangers hugging amid Beth harmonies. For KISS, its evolution, from 70s outsiders to 20s elders, avatars looming in metaverse afterlives. Frehley's passing closes a circle, but Stanley's toast opens another, family, flaws and all endures. As confetti rained on the finale, shouted out loud, the message thrummed, rock on in Spaceman's honor. In Vegas's neon haze, KISS didn't just perform, they resurrected. Frehley's star dimmed, now constellations their sky, a heartfelt howl against silence, proving legends never truly fade.